Hello everybody, my name is Kelly Hammonds and I'm an independent consultant with Close to My Heart. I'm very excited to be here today to go through this make and take with you. This is our Bloom and Grace mini book using flip flaps. This is the project that we'll be making. This is what it looks like in your pizza box, so get that out and I'll show you real quick. This is my finished product, and just show you real quick how we took our flip flaps and some of our Picture My Life cards and made a cute little brag book. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to work right along with you so that nobody gets behind. So let's open up the goodies that came in your pizza box and make sure everybody has everything that they need. Okay, you should have a clear shimmer brush. We'll set that aside for now. You should have an envelope that has the Picture My Life cards from Bloom with Grace. And then if you flip it over on the other side, you should have the flip flaps. Let's take those out. And all the pieces that we need to make our sunflowers. So we'll set those pieces aside and double check our flip flaps. We should have 1, 2, that are 3x4 horizontal. You should have 1, 2 that are 3x4 vertical. You should have 2 that are 3x3 and 2 that are 4x4. So a total of 8. Okay, so let's set those aside for a minute. For your sunflowers, you should have 2 top pieces, 2 solid pieces, and tops for the centers, and 2 solid circles. So again, 8 pieces. Okay, we'll set those aside just for a second because we're going to work on the sunflowers first. You should have a 6x12 piece of cardstock. This is our new Desert Rose color, and this is our Desert Rose glitter paper. And so you should have a strip of it. Should be about 1/2 inch wide. Okay, so let's get out to start. Oh, real quick, while everybody's getting all their stuff out, let's just remind you that I do have one website, kellyhammonds.com, and you can go there to shop 2 different sites. One is my Close to My Heart site that's run by our corporate office, and the other is my exclusive store where I offer exclusive bundles, exclusive page kits, discounted retired items, and pre-orders for new catalog items. We have a new catalog coming out November 1st, and so I have some pre-orders, bundles that you can buy now from the new catalog. And then I wanted to let you know about my customer loyalty program. Hopefully you've been receiving emails and you're familiar with this, but we have gone to a system where you, as a customer, not as a consultant, but as a customer, can earn 15% in product credit on all of your purchases. And that's good for 1 year. When you pay your membership fee of $35, if you join before end of this year, you're going to automatically get $25 in product credit up front. And then my exclusive special is I will give you a free paper pack. It's worth $10, so actually your net cost is going to be 0 for joining for the first year. And when you join, you're going to get some exclusive an exclusive Facebook group and workshop, and the company is actually going to offer an exclusive bundle and workshop. So all of that, more information can be found at kellyhammonds.com. Okay, let's get started with our sunflowers. So you're just going to need some fine line glue. I like the Tombow glue. And I wanted to show you, this is our new Sundance color. All of our cardstock is a lighter hue on the back. So when I flip this over, actually it was already flipped over, you can see that it's actually lighter on the back. Okay, so this has been cut out of the same cardstock. And so you can decide whether you would like your base to be light and the top to be dark. Actually, let's use the bigger one. See, like that. Or if you would rather have your bottom be light and your top be dark, which is how I made mine. Okay, so the hardest part, it's not that hard, but the challenging part is lining up your sunflower because it will match up perfectly. Okay, so you see how it lines up perfectly when you line those up. So let's turn this Sometimes I find it's easier if I find like something that's unique, like these are close together, and I try to find it with the bottom one, and then I can line it up a little faster. Okay, so we're going to take our glue, and we're going to I'm just going to put the glue in the center of my sunflower. And did I line it back up right? I don't think I lined it back up right. That's why I like this green glue, because it'll let me slide my stuff, and yep, there we go, till it's perfect. I prefer to not glue down my ends, because then I can roll them a little and get more dimension with my sunflowers. Okay, so there's one. Let's do the other one. And I always do this. I always line it up first to begin with, and then I mess it up when I go to glue it. There we go. Nope, still not right. Well, let's see. I'm just giving you a little extra time to glue. How about that? They do line up because they were cut together, so I know they perfectly line up. There we go. It's a little crooked. There we go. Okay, so we've got our tops done, or the petals of our sunflowers. Now we're going to work on the tops. Again, this was cut from our cardstock that has the lighter hue on the back, and this is our cinnamon. Okay, now these, and I didn't mention it, but on your leaves you might have some pieces that are still left over from the Cricut cut. So if you have a paper piercer or something that you like to use to get those little pieces out, let's get rid of those. And then I did these with the solid part being the dark side and the lighter side. Actually, these are cut out of cinnamon, and these are cut out of desert rose. But you'll notice that they're really pretty close. The light side of one is the dark side of the other. So just want to glue them so that you have the dark center and the lighter top, unless you'd like it the other way around. You can make it any way you want. Get these pieces out here. They're just making it worse here. Okay, and I'm going to use a little bit of glue to put this down. I'm pretty messy with my glue. I just want to make sure it sticks. There we go. Okay, so now we should have our petals and our centers. Now, you can choose whether you would like to glue down your center directly onto the petal flat, or I like to take a little bit of foam tape and pop it up a little bit. Give it a little dimension. It's completely up to you. I just have a fetish with foam tape, so I go through a lot of it. Okay, and there we go. We've now made our sunflowers. Now you can see I chose for the top. On one I chose the lighter side, and on the other it's the darker side of the one with the holes in it. So they are a little bit different. Okay, so let's get rid of all of this. Set those aside. And next what we're going to do is we are going to start making our book. So you're going to want to get out the 6x12 piece of Desert Rose cardstock and your trimmer. And we are going to cut this down to 4 3/4 by 12. So it's already 12 long, so we're going to measure it to 4 3/4. Okay, whoops. And we don't need this piece, so we'll set it aside. So now we have a piece that is 4 3/4 by 12. And if you're still not with me, this is in your written instructions. But if you're keeping up with me, that's 4 3/4. Then we're going to get out our scoreboard, or however you like to score your stuff. and we are going to score at 5 1/4, 6 inches, and 6 3/4. So that's 5 1/4, 6 inches, 6 3/4, 3/4. 5 1/4, 6 inches, 6 3/4. Okay, so we can put this aside now. And we want to go ahead and fold it in half at the 6 inch, flatten it down. Okay, then we're going to fold these back just because, excuse me, when we look at our book, you see how it folds back. So we want that nice fold line. Okay. Okay. Set him aside. Now we're going to work with our flip flaps. So the way that I have made this book is I have actually layered my flip flaps and stuck them together inside the little binder here. So if you're not familiar with our flip flaps, I invite you to take a look at the video that was presented yesterday, that I presented yesterday. I did a big show on flip flaps yesterday. I'm addicted to flip flaps. This is the class that I teach. I usually teach a flip flap class when I teach at Expo. So I just love flip flaps. My problem is, and I always say this, is I'm the person that can never throw a photo away. So I love this because I can add more photos and not feel guilty that I threw something away, because I won't throw it away. So what we're going to do is we're going to stack these, and then we will start adhering them together. So I want you to feel that there's a bumpy side, okay, where the white is. This is the adhesive side, the bumpy side. Okay, so find those. And what we want to do is make sure that the bumpy side is the top page. Okay, so we're going to start stacking our flip flaps with the bumpy side up. So take a 4x4, bumpy side up, and put it down on your table. Then find a 3x4 horizontal and put it on top of that page. Then take a 3x3 and put that on next. Then a 3x4 vertical. And when I say horizontal or vertical, that is with the adhesive side on your left. Okay, so 3x4 vertical looks like that. And then a 4x4 on top. A 3x4 vertical on top. A 3x4 horizontal on top. And finally a 3x3 on top. So let's just go through and make sure, in case I lost somebody, we've got a 4x4 on bottom, bumpy side up to the left. 3x4 horizontal. 3x3, 3x4 horizontal. I'm sorry, 3x4 vertical. My fault. 3x4 vertical. You didn't screw up, I did. 4x4, 3x4 vertical, 3x4 horizontal, and 3x3 on top. Okay? I wish I could see you so I knew everybody was with me, but I'm sure you're with me. Don't forget, you do have this in the booklet if I lost you, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take this pile and we're going to flip it upside down. And we're going to take the very first one on bottom, which is our 4x4. And if you look at my book, you can see that where they're flush on the left side, they're not flush top to bottom. So if you want to make your book exactly like mine, and hopefully I'm not off the page, I did my 3x4 horizontal flush at the bottom. So I'm going to take him, so he'll go right like this, okay, right on top. So what I want you to do is on the 4x4, I want you to take this white strip off, and it does have a static cleaning problem, so if it sticks to you, I understand. And we're going to just line these up on our table, oops, and stick them together. So that they are flush on the left, the right, and at the bottom. Okay. Then we're going to take our 3x3, bumpy side up. We're going to take this white strip off. And then we're going to make this flush to the left and flush to the bottom. So just line them right up. Whoops. Lights are so bright I can't see what I'm doing. Actually, let's do a little more light there. Didn't realize the light wasn't on all the way. Okay. So now we've got 3 of them. Now we're going to do the 3x4 vertical. Okay. So bumpy side up. And this will be flush top and bottom and on the left-hand side. So take the white strip off the 3x3 underneath. Okay. And flush on the left, flush top and bottom. There we go. So now we've got 4 pages, and see, mine's a little crooked, but that's okay. It's homemade. So now we have the 4x4 that's going to go on top of that, right? So we'll take that white strip off, and this one's going to be the easiest one to get straight, because if you just take it at the bottom and left and right, it should line up perfectly, because you've got the 4x4 on bottom. Now you've got a 4x4 on top. Okay, next we're going to do a 3x4 vertical. Okay, so we're going to line it up again, top to bottom, flush, and flush on the left side. So take the white strip off the 4x4 underneath it. And line it up. And actually you can almost see the 3x4 vertical that we put on before. And if I'd put mine on straight, it would line up perfectly, but mine's going to be a little cattywonk, but that's okay. Okay, now we have a 3x4 horizontal, and I chose to put mine up high, up all the way. Okay, so we'll take this white strip off and line it up. So it's flush at the top. It'll be flush on both the left and the right. And then our last one is the 3x3, and I put it all the way at the bottom. So we'll take this white strip off and flush with the bottom, flush to the left, and that is it. Okay, now don't take this last strip off yet. If you have, it's okay, don't panic. I just like to put it in my book and get a good idea how far in I want to put it, because I want my pages to easily open up in my book, so I can see that it's not going to go all the way in, but it's going to go most of the way in. Okay. Now you can take this top one off, hopefully. Well, I'm trying to. There we go. And I like to make sure it's centered top to bottom, and then we're just going to put those inside. Okay. So if I lost you, we started at the bottom with the 4x4, then we stuck the 3x4 horizontal, then the 3x3 on top of it, then the 3x4 vertical, the 4x4, the 3x4 vertical, 3x4 horizontal, and a 3x3 on top. Now, you have a choice, and it just depends on if you have a stapler with you or not. I can't remember if we made it required or optional, or even a suggestion, but I took mine because the bottom isn't stuck, right? The bottom's not stuck. So you can put, if you have like score tape or something you want to put there, you can put there. I just stapled mine. Okay, so if you don't have a stapler, that's okay. If you don't have a good tape for underneath, that's fine too. I actually think on the sample I made, I actually used my Tombow runner, because what we're going to do is we're going to take our strip of glitter paper, okay, and we're going to wrap it around to cover up the staples, if you stapled, and to hold it together. Wouldn't it be nice if we had glitter paper for us to hold it together in our lives? I could use that sometimes. Okay, so most likely your strip is longer than what it takes to wrap it all the way around. So what I did was I found out where it kind of centered, and then I took my scissors I have here, and I actually trimmed mine off so that they butt together. If you want to overlap yours, you can. And then what I took was my adhesive, And I'm going to put it right on here. Well, there we go. A little bit of adhesive. And I just centered it on the spine, left to right. Okay, so we are just now making sure that this stays on. Okay, there we go. So there is our book. So now to decorate for the front, okay, let's actually, you know what? Let's get out our PML cards. Let's get those out. We'll take a look at those. If you're not familiar with our Picture My Life cards, they were partially designed originally to do pocket scrapbooking. I don't do much pocket scrapbooking, but I love our PML cards. And if you saw one of my earlier presentations this year, I went through PML cards with you. I like them because you get, sometimes you get embellishments, sometimes you get journal cards, sometimes you get title cards, but our cards all come 3x4. You get 12 3x4 and 12 4x6. Okay. And so whatever design is on the front is also repeated on the back. And if it's vertical on one side, it's horizontal on the other. And then sometimes the color changes. So you can see here, this has the darker background and this one has the white background. Okay, so we have this card, and when you flip it over, it's yellow and white. Here's the horizontal of this card, and you flip it over and it's vertical. So this allows you to use the cards, and these perfectly coordinate with our Bloom with Grace paper pack, that you can use it along with your paper pack, whether you're going to make cards or scrapbooking with it. Okay, or just pocket scrapbook. So you can see as we go through. So here's a good one. Here's the title one. You grow through it, and when you flip it over, it's vertical. There's a nice little journaling card, decorative card, another title, The Best Day, flip it over. So you can see you've got quite a few cards here to choose from. Now, if you would like to make your book exactly like I made mine, we're going to walk through that. But of course, this is yours, and so you can decorate it any way you want. So some of these cards also, especially in the larger size, I've used these for photo mats in my books. So you can see here that there's a vertical kind of like tree. It kind of looks like an aurora borealis to me, but you flip it over and it's horizontal. There's a journaling card. This one says, Be Still. This is Sunflower Decorative. Be Someone Else's Sunshine, vertical, horizontal. There's another decorative one that I probably would use as a photo mat. This one, I probably would put a picture up here and then, you know, journaling down there. Okay, so you get the idea. Okay, so to make your cover, what I did was I took the sunflower card in the 4x6. Okay, this card right here. Okay, now this card will not fit perfectly on the front because it's a 4x6 and our book is 6x4 and 3/4. All right. You can decide if you like it better with the brown background or if you like it better with the white background. And what we're going to do is we're going to take out our trimmer again, and you'll probably want to keep your trimmer handy for this part because we're going to be cutting down some of these cards, and I'm going to cut it right at 4 by 5. And I'm going to choose to cut off more of the white end, I think, because I want more of my sunflower on my cover. Okay. And just put that extra piece aside. So now this will fit on there perfectly. If you want to cut it down a little bit more for a little bit more border, you can do that too. Take it off the white side. I didn't take it off the white side, did I? I took it off the dark side. That's okay. I'm going to cut it down a little bit more, just so I can get it to center on here. Now I'm centering it more to the top because I'm going to put my sunflowers that we made down here in the corner. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put that on our cover. I'm putting the white corner down here because I like this big sunflower pop up on this side. Okay. And then if you look in your 3x4 cards, this is where I got the title for my book. I'll Be Your Sunshine When Skies Are Gray. So let's find that card. You could also use the Grow Through It card if you want. There's The Best Day. That would look cute on there too. But I chose I'll Be Your Sunshine When Skies Are Gray. And I just glued this so that it keeps the same border, which if you're into exact, it's probably about 1/4 of an inch. When I first started crafting, everything had to be exactly as the directions. I couldn't eyeball anything, but I've gotten better in my old age that I can eyeball things a little bit better. But if you like exact, it's probably about fourth of an inch all the way around. Okay, so now we've done that much. And then we're ready to put our sunflowers on. And again, I wanted to cover up the seam and I wanted to cover up that white part. But be careful when you open your book that you're not creasing. You can see how on my original, I'm creasing my poor petals every time I open it. But it just makes them look fluffier. So again, I'm going to use a little bit of foam tape to pop them up. So we're going to just add these right, and I don't want to come too far off the page, but I kind of want to cover up my seams a little bit. And so I pop that one up pretty high. I'm going to use a thinner one, a thinner foam tape, because we have, Close to My Heart sells foam tape, and we have both the regular and then thin, and I use the thin most of the times, but I have that bigger one popping up a little higher. And so I'm going to put this one. Now in my original, I put the big one on the left. On this one, I'm putting the big one on the right. But that's okay. So there, we've just got him stuck right under there. Okay, so there is our cover. Now on the inside cover, I took, I don't know why this looks like paintbrush strokes to me, but there's one that has paintbrush strokes. It's going to be the one on bottom, isn't it? There we go. Okay, so this one, it's yellow on one side, and then it has the desert rose and the purple color, which is, oh, I have it out here somewhere. Oh, here, let's see. While you guys are looking, sangria. So our sangria color and some of the desert rose. And so I just took this card and I cut it down to 4x4 and glued it to the inside. So again, if you'd rather have something else on the inside cover, I just wanted to have a little bit of color on there. So I'm going to cut this at 4. So now it's 4x4 and just glue that to the inside. Oops. Okay. Again, if you want to decorate yours exactly like mine, I'm going to walk you through it, but I might go a little bit fast. I did not include for you any of the white cards, the placeholders, but anywhere that you don't put one of the PML cards, that's where a photo would go. Okay, so the first card inside is this one that's brown on one side with the flowers and the swoosh, and it's this color on the other side. Again, the sangria and the desert rose kind of mixed together, a little bit of the cinnamon in there too. Okay, so find that card. So this card is 3x4, and I want to put it into a space that is 3x3. So I'm going to cut 1/2 inch off of each end so that it brings it down to 3x3. So my first cut's going to be at 3.5. If you can see that, 3.5, and then 3. And I'm sorry, I'm a messy crafter. I have everything everywhere when I craft. we have to spend a day cleaning up after I've made anything. So I'm sorry for the OCDs. This is challenging to watch me work, but it's the way my brain works. I apologize. So, okay. Okay, so there's our front. And then on the back, you're going to put a picture. Okay. Then we're going to put a picture here. We're going to flip, and I have Grow Through It next. So that's going to be one of your 3x4 PML cards. It is vertically, it is a white background with a leaf on it. It says Grow Through It. And you flip it over, and it's brown with the green leaf. And so I'm just going to stick that right in, so it's face up. Okay, so we've got the flowers on the cover, then we'll put a picture here, we'll put a picture here, and then the Grow Through It right here. Then another picture here, another picture here, so this will be empty because we'll put a picture on both sides, and then the grid paper on this page. Now I plan to just leave that plain. Maybe I'll do some journaling on it. I'm not sure exactly yet, but this card is part of the 4x6 cards. And it looks like this on one side. It is brown with a sunflower on the other side. Okay, so we're looking for this card. Okay, so we want to cut it down so that it's 4x4. So it's already 4 inches one way. So because I want my sunflower in this corner, I'm going to cut it this way. Of course, once you cut it, then you could also rotate it any direction you want. I was just thinking it might be cute to have the sunflower on the outside edge. Like put it in the book this way. I might do that for this one. Okay, so that's going to go into our 4x4 spot. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we've got the grid paper for the 4x4. We'll put a picture on the back of that. Let me see if I can get these both in here at once. So we're going to do a picture on the back. And it looks like it's a picture here, but this is a 3x4 card. So let's find that 3x4 card. I can tell it's right here because it's yellow. It's yellow on one side with the polka dots. Or it is white with the desert rose color on the back side. And what I did was I just put this card in there, and then at the bottom where the dots are, that's where I'm going to put my photo. Okay, so let's put that in the 3x4. Okay, so it looks like this. And we'll put the photo, a 3x4 photo right there. See, this is the one I put in crooked, this little cattywonk there. So, okay. Then on the back, we're going to put a photo. And then this one, I have a 2x2. Okay, so we need to find the card. It's this decorative pattern. And it is espresso on one side and sangria on the other. Okay, this is the card we're looking for. And so I use this as a photo mat for my 2x2. So to cut it down, it's in a 3x3 flip flap. Okay. So again, I want to take a 1/2 inch off of one side, 1/2 inch off of the other side. So you guys stay down there. Okay, so I know you can't see at the bottom because that little banner. So cut it 3 1/2 and flip it around and do it at 3 inches. So see, now that circle is perfectly centered in my card. And actually it is on the other side too, just because one of them was vertical, one was horizontal, but I think in this case it doesn't really matter because the card looked the same front and back. Okay, so we're going to put a little 2x2 photo on this card. So we're going to stick it in there. Okay. And then on the back I put a photo, a 3x3 photo. Of course, if you'd like to, you could put a 2x2 on one side and a 2x2 on the other side. Totally up to you. Our next card is going to be a, it looks like it's a 3x4, but it is actually a 4x6. So this is the tricky one, okay? Looks like it's 3x4, but it's 4x6. This one right here that says Be Still. It is a white background on one side, cinnamon on the other side. Okay, so I want this to be 3x4. So it's already 3 inches wide. I'm sorry, 4 inches wide, and we want to make it 3 inches tall. So we're going to have to trim off until this part is 3 inches tall. So I think I just cut it to where that leaf just barely is trimmed. So it looks like it is a little bit more than 4 1/4, but less than 4 1/2. Okay, so that would be 4 3/4, or if you prefer, a little over 4 1/4, but less than 4 1/2. So it trims just right where my leaf is. And then if I turn it around and cut it at 3 inches, hopefully I won't cut off the bottom leaf. Oh, just barely cut that bottom leaf. Okay, so now I have a 3x4 card. So it's going to go right here. Then we'll do a picture on the back. And then the next card is Be Someone Else's Sunshine, which is yellow on one side, sangria on the other. 4x6 card, Be Someone Else's Sunshine, sangria on one side. This is actually the new Sundance color, our newest yellow. And since this card is 4x6 and I want it to be 4x4, I'm going to take 1 inch off the top and 1 inch off the bottom. So we're going to cut it down to 5 inches on one side and then down to 4. So 1 inch off of each side. Oh, and guess what I just did? I did it on the yellow side. Oh, look, it worked out. What fun is that? Perfectly worked out. So you could actually choose either side. If you want a little bit more yellow in your book, more Sundance, or if you want the sangria color. So we're going to put that at the end. And that is our last flip flap, because we'll put a picture right here. And then for my end of my book, I liked this quote, "Stand tall and find the sun." So that is going to be a 4x6 card. It looks like this when it's horizontal. It looks like this when it's vertical. And again, I had to take 1 inch off the top and 1 inch off the bottom so that this part is centered for my back cover. So I want to make it a 4x4 card. We're going to take 1 inch off the top. So at 5 inches. And then at 4 inches. And take my tape runner, and we're just going to adhere that to the back cover. And if you put it in a little bit further, this flip flap will cover it all the way. Mine, I can always put it a little bit closer so it doesn't hang out when you first open the book. Maybe in just a little bit more. It's that eyeballing thing again. So see, it just hangs out a little bit. So when you first open the book, it doesn't hang over too far. It does look crooked, or maybe my flip-flops are a little crooked. So there is our finished book. So the final step that I did was I took our shimmer brush, our clear shimmer brush, and I used this to decorate the front cover, to bling it up, because we always need a little more bling. And so I thought what we'd do, if everyone takes out their shimmer brush, I would walk through the benefits or the qualities of our shimmer brushes. I know there's other companies that make these, but what I wanted to show you was ours are much larger, so they have more stuff in them. Okay, and so in my booth, we usually demo the shimmer brushes quite heavily because everybody loves them. In fact, let me show you while everybody's getting theirs out. We now have 26 different colors of shimmer brushes. Make sure you can see this okay. So we've added the new Scarlet, the new Desert Rose, the new Flamingo Grape, Bluebell, Peacock, Avocado, Sundance, Paprika, and Espresso were added October 1st. So we have all of these colors that we've brought back, plus the new ones, plus Green Apple and Lemonade, which aren't pictured. There's the new Sundance. It's really pretty. New Bluebell. There's the Desert Rose, or this is Scarlet Red Desert Rose, Raspberry, the new Grape, and then we have the clear and the silver. Clear and the gold. Okay, so when you first get your shimmer brush, if you have a paper towel or a trash can nearby, I recommend that you grab those. You always want to shake your shimmer brush really well, and the first time you use it, you're going to pull it apart. Okay, I didn't break it, it's okay. Okay, I just said that it was okay that I pulled my shimmer brush apart and I made it work, as you'll see in just a minute. However, the way it should look is when you pull it, you should still have this part attached. I just pulled it so hard that I pulled it off the screw part. So what you need to do, if you didn't pull the whole thing off, is unscrew this, take the yellow ring out, screw it back on, and you're good to go. Throw it back together and then pull it off and make sure it's tight. Okay. Now it's really important that anytime you use your shimmer brush that you always pull the top off and don't screw it off. You don't want to unscrew it to take it off. I always make sure when I take mine off that I make sure that this is nice and tight, because if this unscrews, you're going to have a mess. Now the very first time you use it, you want to bleed it down because you can see there's no shimmer yet. So this is why I like my paper towel or a trash bag, or if you've been in my booth, I do it all over my apron. And you're just going to squeeze it until it starts coming out. If you can see that it started coming out. Okay. Now, when I'm using my shimmer brush on a daily basis, I always make sure I shake it really good before I start using it so that all the glitter hasn't settled somewhere. And then I just use it. And then if it starts feeling a little dry, I get my paper towel or my trash can out and I squeeze a little bit more. You can see there how it's gooped up. And it's good to use. Now, before we start decorating our book, I want to show you a couple of other tricks with my shimmer brushes. First of all, let me show you one of the other colors. Love raspberry. This is my raspberry one. Okay, so raspberry looks really, really pretty. I'm not a pink person, but I love how vivid this raspberry is. So hopefully you can see the shimmer in that. I also like Lagoon. It's really pretty too. But I just told you that we have 26 shimmer brushes, 24 colors. Let's say there's a color that we don't have. Now, grape is not the perfect example, but it's the first pad that I grabbed. And so this is a trick that you can do with your clear. If you take our ink, one of our ink pads or ink pads you use, if you squeeze it so that you have ink in the lid, you can take your clear shimmer brush and pick up the color. And now you've made whatever color ink you're using that same color. So now I'm not limited to the 24 colors that Close to My Heart has. Now I have all of the colors that we make. It will come out, it'll rub out, it'll stain the tip a little bit, but there you go. I think that's just, I don't know, I find that so exciting. This is our ink pad. If you're not familiar with them, they are magnetic. They stack really nice. They have their name on the outside. They store upside down automatically, and they nest together really nice. Okay, so let's get back to our little project here. And so what I did for mine was I just took my shimmer brush all over the center of my sunflower. And you can add as little or as much as you want. And then I outlined my petals so that cardstock, I just went around every single petal. The deceiving thing about the clear one is it doesn't look like it's really on there at first, but when it dries, the bling just pops with it. So I'm going to do both of my sunflowers, their petals. Just want to add that little bit of pop. They do dry pretty quick. And once they're dry, the glitter does not go anywhere. It doesn't, peel off. It doesn't flake anywhere. So I'm just going to outline my sunflower in a couple places. Just add a little bling to it too, just to keep the theme going. Okay. And if it's not enough for you, then just go back over it again. Oh, see, now I just squeezed it a little, and you can see it gave me a lot more bling. So it just depends on how much bling, how heavy you want it to be. And then you can go inside your book, and anywhere that you want to add some bling, just take your page out. Like maybe you want to add some bling to this sunflower. Maybe you want to do those a little bit. Maybe at the end. I did mine at the end. Then you'll have to leave it open for a few minutes to let it dry. Okay. So this is our mini book, our little Bloom with Grace mini book, brag book. Okay, I'd like to show you a couple of tricks with the shimmer brushes. This is the sapphire one. You can see that I've already shaken it and bled it out a little bit. But one of the great things that we can do is we can flick it on scrapbook pages or on cards, and you get a nice background look. You can see that real well there. But you get a little sparkle on your page, gives you some good background texture. And then the other thing that you can do is that you can use it on some of your embellishments. So this is a wood piece that I have used with the shimmer brush. If I bring it down a little bit, you can see it a little bit better. But you can see that it is got the bling in it. It was just a wood piece, and I just colored it. This is with the raspberry. So that gives you a couple more things that you can do with your shimmer brushes. You have leftover cards now. So let's see what we can do with our leftover cards. So I added our Bloom with Grace wood shapes. Okay, these coordinate beautifully with the Bloom with Grace paper pack. And I took the remaining cards and I made some cards. So I layered, I cut them down to, what would this be, 5 1/4, because it's a 5 1/2 card. It's already 4 inches wide, so it goes right on the card very nicely. And then I used the smaller cards on top. So, and then I added the little Bloom with Grace cards. I stamped them with our Stamp of the Month from October. This is the Stamp of the Month for October. You can get this for $5 when you spend $50. Okay. There's another one. You got this. The Best Day. So I just flipped the card vertical, took this card, cut it down. It's so simple and fast. This one I used 2 3x4 cards and layered them. And then the final one here, cut those off. And then if you're more of a scrapbooker, I did make a real fast and simple scrapbook page. And I don't know if this is going to all show in the same, you're going to be able to see it all. But you can see on this page, I have a title. This is one of the element cards. More of those little wood pieces. This is also the wood pieces, and this one has the journaling. So real basic, real fast. I actually, with the scraps of the PML cards, made some little banners up in the corner. You can certainly decorate this up, make it fancier, but I just threw it together real quick because I want to use everything that's in the pack. I don't like to have leftovers, so this is what I have done with my extras. This is just one sample of the flip-flap in my flip-flap presentation yesterday. These are the larger 6x12 flip-flaps, and you open them up and you get another set of layouts inside. This would be a 4x6, 4x6 here. Then you can also take the 6x12s and you can do them up and down. And you can see there's a 4x4, another 4x6. I scoot it up a little here. You can see here's a 2x2. So this is just one sample that we shared with the presentation yesterday. Before we part, I want to tell you a little bit more about our flip-flaps because they were the basis of our book today. Our flip-flaps are made with the same material as our page protectors, and we've had them around for years. They're one of our best sellers. If you'd like to learn a lot more about flip-flaps, look at my presentation that I did yesterday. But real quick, we make them in 8 different sizes. There's the 2x2, 3x3, 3x4, 4x4, 4x6, 5x7, 6x12, and we have brought back the 8x12 size. I do offer a bundle of all 7, not the new largest one, but all 7. I do offer them in a bundle. They normally retail for $43. That does include the tax, and I take 20% off in my exclusive store, which brings it down to $34.40. And you can get that, like I said, in my exclusive store. And then I also want to tell you about a shimmer brush special that I run as well on in my exclusive store. Normally I do a buy 5 get 1 free, but just for this group, for you guys, we're going to do it for buy 4 get 1 free. No code necessary. You just have to go to my exclusive store. Both of these specials will be available until October 31st, Halloween. So I really appreciate you being here with me today. And in closing, just want to remind you of the special flyer inside your packet today, and then also remind you of this loyalty club. Don't forget to sign up for it. Remember, if you sign up before year end, you'll get a free paper pack from me, which will bring your sign-up fee down to 0. You'll earn half-price certificates. You'll earn free catalogs. You'll get free petite perks with each catalog, and I always give out gifts to all my customers. So thanks again for being here today.